This is going to be an instructional / overview video of the 2025 Laika Kosmo 105. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the vehicle, and then we will go into the habitation and cab area. Just so you know, this vehicle is in the middle of PDI and has yet not been valeted. So first of all, we are going to start externally. First thing I'm going to show you is how to open the bonnet, and the main reason for this, one, obviously so you know where the bonnet catches, and then two, just in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So if you open the passenger door, you will see at the side of the dash here you've got your bonnet release catch. Pull that down once and that will then release. So as you can see, I've now got the bonnet open. So your positive terminal, I'm just trying to show you, it's down here under this black cap, this cover. You just need to lift it up out the way, and that is where your positive terminal is. And then your negative terminal point is just this nipple here. Obviously we have got your screen wash under here as well, which is down in this corner in front of the driver. So now we are going to carry around the external of the vehicle. As you can see, this vehicle does come with an awning. I will send a separate link on the email how to set up and use the awning. So like I said, we'll carry on around on the passenger side. Next to the passenger door, in here we have got your diesel fill and AdBlue. On your diesel at the top, you just need to use your vehicle blade key and that will give you access there. Here we have ventilation bottom and top for your fridge freezer. This locker here is going to be your gas locker. As you can see, I have now got your gas locker open. You can fit 2 tanks in here, 2 6-kilogram tanks. You may be able to get one bigger tank and then obviously keep one of the smaller ones, just because obviously the width. And then obviously we've got your gas regulator up here, and then at the top we have got a changeover valve as well. And then if you do use these Truma hoses, they do have a safety feature. So basically when you do connect your gas up, you just need to push this in. Once you turn your gas on, this just purges the pipe work to the regulator. And then your grey waste is right next to your gas tank. So it's hard to show you because it is underneath the vehicle, but down there, see that bar there? So I'll try and do this on camera, but lift this bar up. If you push it up, that will open your grey waste, and that will drain down there right behind the gas locker. So that bar you need to push up to drain, and then pull the bar down to then close the valve. Next, above your gas locker, we have an external gas point. So you just need a quick release connection onto the end of here if you want to obviously have an external barbecue. Here we have got your boiler flue, so keep this clear at all times. One, it does get quite hot, and then obviously two, this is where the fumes exhaust from when on gas. Next one, we have your mains hookup. So this is where you'll plug in at shore, campsite. And then we have some of your garage space on the passenger side. As you can see, we've got the infill cushions in here for the dinette to berth, etc. And then in that far corner you can access this internally, but that is where your main breaker is. So obviously if anything does trip on the 240 volt side, first of all check the campsite, because the campsite does tend to trip first. But other than that, check this breaker box internally, because this is obviously protecting the vehicle on the 240 volt side. But like I say, you can access this internal, which I'll show you when we get inside. To shut these, all you need to do is push them, twist this 180, and then if you put your habitation key in there, you close that 180, and then when you push these in, that is physically locked. If they're stuck out, that means they are not obviously locked. This customer has had a motorbike rack fitted on this. Your reverse camera is right at the top up there, so you've got nice view of the rear of the van when you are in reverse. Now we are on the driver's side. Again, this is the driver's side of the locker of the rear. You've got a light there, 12 volt light, so this will come on when obviously your 12 volt control panel is on. And then here is your fresh water tank. So you can get to this from the garage, or you can get to this internally as well. So this black valve is where you're going to drain your fresh water tank completely empty. So twisting it to the left will close the valve, twisting it to the right will open the valve. You may be able to drain this tank to travel with 20 litres. So what they recommend to do is basically when the tank is completely closed, if you turn the black valve to the right a quarter turn, that will then open the valve a little bit and then drain the tank to 20 litres for travelling. Here we have your fresh water fill. So you just need your habitation key to access this. And to fill up the fresh water, obviously you need to make sure that black valve is shut in the garage area. And then obviously put your hose pipe in here. When the water starts to come back out here, that means your fresh water tank is completely full. And then before we do go in the habitation, the last compartment we have got is your toilet cassette, which is secured in here. To release your toilet cassette, all you need to do is lift this blue tab up, lift it up, and then pull the cassette towards you, and that will then release. If we now need to empty / clean our cassette, what we need to do is to empty it is this grey nozzle here, twist this out to the left, take this blue cap off, and then when we tip up the cassette, if we put our thumb on this button at the top and push this button in, that lets air into the top of the cassette, so all the fluids flow out a lot faster. Other than that, you can open the toilet blade and clean internally as well, or pour your chemicals in there. And then once finished, all you need to do is just push this cassette back into place and make sure that this blue tab is securely down here, so then your cassette is not going to slide out in travel. So as you can see, we are now in the habitation area. So as soon as you come through the habitation door, to your right behind this cover here, if you lift this up, this is where you'll find your 12 volt control panel. Also you'll find here, which is your Truma heating control panel. On your Truma heating control panel, we will send a separate link just on this control panel how to use this. Your 12 volt system here, so you got a few things on here. So the top right is your power on and off. The next one is your water pump. So on your water pump, you only want to turn that on when you have got water in the system. You don't want to run that pump without any water, because you will potentially burn the motor out running it dry. This one with a light on its side, that is your awning light externally. On the left will give you your fresh water level. So when you press it, it will come up on a gauge. And then on the left second one up, if you press that, that is your vehicle battery level. The top left is your habitation battery level. Here, what looks like a plug. If you plug into mains hookup at campsite, this will light up green here. If this doesn't light up green here, just double check that the campsite post hasn't tripped, or if that hasn't tripped, then sometimes you might need to change the plug socket on the campsite, or potentially just double check the internal breaker. Up here, the far right at the top, this is going to be your grey waste. So this will flash when your grey waste is full. and that is your 12 volt control panel. Obviously if you've got the 12 volt control panel switched off, none of the 12 volt lights will work or chargers, so you just need this on. This customer has had Wi-Fi fitted, which is up here, and we have put the user and password with a QR code to just there. But we have got the Wi-Fi Avtech box up here, which has got 2 SIM card slot, the 5G. Here we have a TV bracket. To release this, all you need to do is just pull this arm down like so, and that releases the mechanism to then obviously swivel the bracket out. Here, this little black like dome thing, basically this is connected to the Truma heating, so don't pick this off thinking it's a screw cover. This is actually your thermostat, so this is what controls the heating to knock it on and off when it reaches temperature. Here we've got 240 mains plug socket, we've got a 12 volt socket, and right below we've got Type C and USB socket. We've got some lights here, so obviously if these are switched off, because these are the master switches, then obviously they won't come back on until you do turn them back on. Got some storage down here, some more storage just above there. So here we've got obviously a U-shaped lounge, got height adjustable table, which is controlled by, so this little lever here lets you, if you unclip this, that lets you move the table around. And then I'll just show you on the other side. Here there's an arm which you move this arm out like so, and that will let you push the table up and down. So the table is on a hydraulic ram, so you need to put some weight on it to push it down. Once the table is all the way down, you want to keep it down, you just need to use this lever to lock the hydraulic ram into place. If you are setting up the dinette to berth or using the table fully folded out, just make sure you pull this support arm out. And then obviously if you are setting it up for dinette to berth, to support again, it has got fold away legs like so, so these just fold down, so it gives that table more support when you put the cushions on, and then obviously it is set up for dinette to berth then. Down on the floor, these 2 compartments are just a little bit of storage. You've got 2 travel seats here at the rear. They have got headrests, they're just in one of the lockers. And then under all these bench seats, we've got a little bit of storage, and we've got obviously other components. So down under this side, this is where your fresh water tank is. So on the far left corner, you will be able to get access to that black valve to drain or close your fresh water tank. I'll take all these cushions up in a moment. This locker here, under this seat here, sorry, this is where your Truma boiler is, so you would need access to this to get your frost protect valve, which I'll show you in a moment. And then under this one there's a bit of storage, and that is where your main breaker is. So in a minute I will take all the cushions up to show you under the seats. We have got drop down bed here, which is a great combination. You've got either 2 singles, or you can make this into a king size bed, and that is controlled with this switch here. So lower this down, like so. So it will only go to obviously the kitchen worktop height. So you got single, a single, or if you want to make it into a king size, you can just pull this tray out use your ladder here to climb up, and obviously there's an infill cushion here, so that makes it into a huge bed space. If you are just using it as two singles, then obviously you can move this table sideways and put your ladder here. The left hand side here, single bed, is a little longer than the right hand side. Like I said, that is just controlled by this rocker switch here, up and down. Now I'm going to lift up all the cushions to show you what's underneath. So as you can see, I have now got the cushions up to show you what's underneath. So here we have your Truma boiler. This holds around 10 litres of your fresh water to obviously create your hot water. And the only reason you'll need access under here is for this black valve down below. So basically this valve is called a frost protect valve, and when it hits 3 degrees or less, it will trigger automatically to basically obviously drain the boiler from the water. But obviously if this is heated in here and it's warm, it won't trigger. It's if the van's been left and obviously this valve has been forgotten about. But to close this valve, what you need to do, you need to twist the diamond on top sideways and push. There's a blue button down below, push this button in. When that button stays in, that means the valve is shut. And then if I want to drain this valve manually for storage or winter, all I need to do is twist that diamond valve on top. That will then release that button and drain all the water out of the out of the boiler, sorry. So obviously if that button down there is out, that means the valve is open. If I twist this valve on top and the button's still out, that means the valve is still open. If that button stays in when the valve is shut, that is obviously completely shut. So that is how you drain your boiler in winter. Here we have a few controls. Obviously we've got 3-pin plug socket, we've got water tank heater, and then we have got this is your valve control valve for your gas. So you can put this on in summer here, summer mode, and basically that's indicating obviously if you've got gas or not. Obviously the red light will come on when obviously there's no gas, because we are not connected to any gas. And then you do have a winter mode, basically that is just heating up the regulator if you are going somewhere really cold, and obviously indicates if you've got gas or not. So if you want to test without going to the bottles, change over, you can just turn this on to check if you have gas or not. So that's your boiler side. And then here, like I say, you can get access to this if you've got your garage full. This is where your main breaker is, under here. So you just need to come to this area to obviously check that anything on the 240 volt side is tripped. Like I said, most of the time it is the campsite, but this is where you will find it. Obviously you've got your fridge and power points on here. And then on this side, this is where your fresh water tank is stored. So these red caps, you can open these, and obviously one you could fill up from here, because this is where the fill nozzle is here, so you could fill up in from here as well if you ever needed to. But then you can actually access the fresh water tank as well if you want to clean internally. Most of the time it is just for the technicians, so they can do work if they need to. It gives them access. But in this far corner here, like I said, this is what this black valve looks like from the top. So you can, obviously if the garage is full, you can access this from in here. So obviously that is that black valve which you need to shut to fill up the fresh water tank before you fill up. And then obviously if you are draining the tank for winter or storage. Just twist it all the way to the right 2 times, 2 360s, and that will then drain all the water out of the freshwater tank. If you are planning on travelling back from a campsite because you are going home and not using the van, it's good practice just to open all the valves just before you set off on your way home from wherever you've been, because obviously because of the tank is so long and at different locations when you are travelling, that movement in the motorhome, going up a hill or moving around while driving back, will obviously help get all the water out with the valve open. So as you can see, I've put all the cushions back now. So taking the cushions up, just obviously, especially near the garage area, just gives you obviously another area to access certain things, like I say, if your garage is full. Next we'll go over the kitchen area. So we've got a 2-ring gas burner here. Obviously need to turn your gas on at the main source, and then obviously you've got your igniter here, which will only work when your 12-volt system's on, and then obviously we've got your controls here for your gas knobs. Basically, if you are wanting to use this, just hold this in, press the igniter, but keep it held in for a few seconds, about 20 seconds. This it just heats up the thermocouple, so obviously it stays alight. One safety feature we do advise is obviously the glass cover. Just keep this up once you have finished using the stove. Just because of the temperature difference, you could potentially shatter the glass. Obviously you've got a window so you can vent from up here, and then you have got an extractor fan which is controlled by the switch here. All the windows have blackout blinds, fly screens, so you can have in half and half or whichever you need. Here we've got obviously your kitchen sink and tap. So now, say if we want to prime our motorhome, our water system. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get to campsite or wherever I am, I'm going to close all the valves. So I need to close the fresh water valve, that black knob on top. I need to close my boiler valve, the black and blue frost protect valve. And then I need to close my grey waste, which is obviously behind your gas locker. Once all the valves are closed, we can fill up the fresh water tank. And then next, we're going to prime our system. Now we've got water, so we're going to turn our pump on at the control panel. And then what we're going to do is open the tap on cold. Once you get a steady flow on the cold side, which will only take a few seconds, once you get a steady flow, all you need to do is then twist it to the hot side. And basically what's going to happen on your hot side, it will take a minute because it's going to fill up your boiler first. So the water is going to come from your fresh water tank, go to your boiler, fill up your boiler with 10 litres of water, and then you will get a steady flow through. Once you have got a steady flow on hot and cold, shut the tap, and that is basically your water system completely primed, ready to use. The only thing you do need to do is obviously on your hot water side, you do need to turn that on from your Truma control panel, which is up here. So obviously this controls for your hot water. So obviously this is what you need to turn on to heat up that water. We've got fold away shelf here. We've got some more storage under this floor here, some drawers. We have got storage in here. You got a Laika pull-out tray, nice tray there, which is lockable, and then we've got some internal gas valves. So these gas valves, if one of the appliances goes faulty, you can turn off one of the appliances that is faulty and then obviously still use the gas in the motorhome. You've got a bin here lower down, and then obviously you've got some drawers here. Here we have your oven. So got your igniter to the top left, and then we've got your knob here which hold in for the gas and obviously temperature, and then this is how you open it. So you've got two shelves in there for that. Below that we have got your Thetford 3-way fridge. to use this, press and hold the power button, and then we have got a few settings which you could see there. To go through these settings, you just need to press and hold this next one here, and it will flash once. And now I can go through the settings. So this is the source I want to use for the fridge. So A is for automatically select, so it will automatically change over if you leave it on A. This one is when you're plugged in at campsite, so this is when you've got 240 volt mains, so this is a plug socket. Battery symbol is when the engine's running, so that's taking a charge from the alternator. And then the last one is obviously gas, so if you're off grid, you'll be on gas. Like I said, most people leave it on A. And then now it's asking me for what temperature I want. If it's the first time you're using the fridge before your travels, just turn the fridge on an hour before and put it high. And then depending on how much you load in the fridge, freezer and fridge, is obviously if you are filling it up, you might want to turn that temperature halfway just to maintain it and you're not freezing everything in the freezer and fridge completely solid. But you'll gauge that obviously by using it. That's personal preference. But A, like I say, is automatically select, so it will automatically change over itself. Once you're finished motorhoming and you want to turn this off completely, just press and hold the power button, and it will completely shut down. Next we have your toilet and shower. So here we have your toilet. If you want to use your toilet, you've got your blade here which you need to open and close when using. So that is opening the toilet cassette. Down here, the blue button is your flush. So that's going to use some fresh water. You do need to turn your 12 volt system on because that's going to use the pump. And then there will be a light indicator which will light up orange/red when the toilet cassette is full. So when you do see that light, you just need to empty your cassette. You have got storage in here, a little bit of storage. You've got storage at the top as well. This is your light switch. Obviously your basin, some storage again underneath. If you want to create this into your shower cubicle, all you need to do is push this in and that releases, and then this swings around, and then you have got your door here, which when you shut the toilet bathroom door, you can open this out, your shower screen internally, which folds out and gives you obviously your shower cubicle. Here is obviously your shower tap as well, just up there. Once finished, you can just push this in and make sure that tab is covering that, and that is not going to then swing. We've got blackout blinds as well, fly screens in the shower area, and obviously you've got skylight there. Here we have got another fold out table, so if you could have two people obviously swivel around and on the swivel seats, because driver and passenger do swivel, so obviously you've got more seating area as well. If you do need to swivel the seats, all you need to do is this grey tab here. You just need to pull this out, and that will then release the mechanism, and then the seats will then completely swivel. Your vehicle battery will be under the footwell down here under this compartment, but like I say, if you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason, you obviously do that underneath the bonnet. And then your leisure batteries will be on the driver's seat, and your 12 volt fuses as well. So if something trips or blows on the 12 volt fuse side of things, that's where you'll need to get to. I'll show you that in a moment. We have got obviously your steering wheel, multifunction on there, your cruise control speed limit. We've got electric handbrake just down there. Now this van has a safety feature. If you try and drive this van without a seatbelt on, the parking brake will come on because the seats are on, they have a sensor, so you just need to make sure you've got your seatbelt on when moving this van, your motorhome. Here we have a rocker switch, so this switch, when you turn it on, gives you the radio. The only thing you need to remember is obviously you need the switch on for when you are using the van driving, and then obviously when you are finished you do need to remember to turn the switch off, because otherwise you will drain the van battery, the motorhome battery side of things. And then this is obviously been upgraded, your entertainment media pack here, your gearbox is here, and like I say, you need to make sure that switch is turned off. So like now when I'm parked up, obviously I can listen to the radio, but if I leave this on after driving and I don't want the radio on, it will flatten your battery. So always remember to turn that switch on and off when needed. You got Type C USB socket at the front and 12 volt. All windows, blackout blinds again, all the way. Got light reading lights here, which are on a rocker switch, and then there's a USB point here. So your fuse boxes are actually under the passenger seat. Under the driver's seat is where your leisure battery is. So down here, this is where your fuses will be. So this is where you'll come if one of the fuses is blown on the 12 volt side. So this could be obviously the drop down bed and other things on the 12 volt system. So this is where you'll check for your fuses, just there. Like I said, the underneath the driver's seat, it is your leisure battery. So that is the instructional / overview video of the 2025 Laika Kosmo 105. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below, or you can always drop us an email or give us a call.